All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're doing a deep dive into the world of sales account managers.
We're breaking down what it takes to thrive in this role using some awesome resources from RoleCatcher.
They're going to be our co-pilots today, guiding us through the ins and outs.
Exactly. And we're diving deep into their data, their insights, those juicy details.
So, RoleCatcher paints this picture of a sales account manager as the bridge between a company and its clients.
Yeah, they call them the bridge, but it's so much more than just closing deals, right?
Right, they put a big emphasis on building those long-term relationships.
It's huge EE. Think about it. In today's business world, you can't just bank on a single transaction.
You need those clients who keep coming back for more.
Exactly. Companies live and breathe on that repeat business, and that's where those long-term relationships come into play.
It's about trust, becoming a reliable partner, building that foundation for those long-term wins.
Absolutely. It's not just about selling a product. It's about selling a relationship.
Selling that promise of continued value.
Exactly. That's where the magic happens, and that's where the sales account manager steps in.
And that takes a pretty unique blend of skills. RoleCatcher mentions product knowledge, of course.
Negotiation tactics, communication.
Even a little psychology in there, I bet.
Absolutely. It's a dynamic mix, no doubt. You need to know that product inside and out, communicate its value, and then navigate the world of contracts and negotiations.
Sounds a lot more exciting than just pushing paper in a cubicle all day.
Definitely not your average desk job.
RoleCatcher did mention travel being a part of the job, though. Where does that come in?
Think client meetings,
Yeah.
industry conferences. Those face-to-face interactions are super valuable in this role.
Makes sense. You can't build those strong relationships just through emails and calls.
Exactly. Sometimes you got to hop on a plane, meet people where they are, show them you're invested.
So it's not just about being glued to your laptop. You get that human connection element as well.
Right. And when it comes to industries, think finance, healthcare, tech. Sales account managers are in demand across the board.
Talk about variety. But RoleCatcher didn't shy away from the fast-paced, high-pressure aspects of this career either.
Oh, yeah. They keep it real. You're juggling tasks, dealing with deadlines. It's not for the faint of heart.
It sounds like you need to be able to handle a bit of heat.
You definitely need to be comfortable working under pressure. You're constantly working towards those targets, managing expectations.
Always staying one step ahead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's part of the thrill, right? There's nothing quite like exceeding those goals.
Knowing you've made a tangible impact.
Exactly. And speaking of staying ahead, RoleCatcher highlights some pretty interesting industry trends.
Yeah, like that big emphasis on building those long-term relationships we were talking about.
It's all about that client lifetime value. It's a concept RoleCatcher really digs into. They're not just looking at that one sale.
It's about nurturing that relationship, getting those clients coming back for more.
Makes those loyalty programs make a whole lot more sense.
And then there's technology, of course. CRM software, AI automation. It feels like it's shaking up pretty much every industry these days.
The world of sales is no exception. RoleCatcher suggests that these tools aren't just nice to have anymore, they're essential.
So you're not just a smooth talker, you got to be a tech whiz, too. What would you say are the most important tech skills for those aspiring sales account managers to have?
You don't have to be like coding algorithms or anything. It's more about knowing how to use these tools to work smarter, not harder. Like take a CRM system, it's a game changer.
They basically become your sidekick, helping you keep all your ducks in a row.
Exactly. You can track all those client interactions, manage your leads, spot opportunities for upselling. No more relying on sticky notes and that mental gymnastics to keep track of everything.
Out with the old, in with the new.
And AI, forget about it. It can automate those tedious tasks. We're talking follow-up emails, qualifying leads. That frees up so much time to focus on what matters, right?
Building those relationships.
Exactly. But let's not sugarcoat it. RoleCatcher doesn't shy away from the challenges.
No, they definitely keep it real.
This isn't a walk in the park. We're talking high-pressure, intense competition.
It's a jungle out there. You're going to face rejection, demanding clients, constantly pushing to meet those targets.
Yeah, resilience is non-negotiable in this field.
Absolutely. But hey, with challenge comes reward. Right?
Yeah, always. RoleCatcher highlights the high earning potential, the diverse tasks, that sense of ownership over your successes. That's a big one.
Okay, so the potential is there. But what's the path to get there? RoleCatcher outlines those clear career stages.
It's a classic climb, each stage building on the last.
You're always leveling up.
Exactly. You might kick things off as a sales intern, providing support, learning the ropes. From there, maybe a sales associate role, actively chasing leads, diving into the field,
That's where you're really getting those persuasion skills honed,
learning to handle those objections.
becoming a master negotiator.
Then you're moving up maybe into a sales account executive role. Now you're managing that entire sales cycle, prospecting to closing.
Talk about taking ownership.
Right. And then you hit that peak, that senior sales account manager level. You're not just managing your own clients, but you're mentoring, guiding a team.
Loved how RoleCatcher highlighted that mentorship piece, It's not just about individual achievement, it's about paying it forward.
100%. You're becoming a leader, that trusted advisor.
Okay, so we've talked about the path, but what about those essential skills?
The tools you need to succeed.
RoleCatcher goes deep on those functions and core abilities. Monitoring, persuasion, coordination, they really are the trifecta.
Those are the heavy hitters.
Let's start with monitoring. It might sound a bit dry, but it's absolutely crucial. Think of a sales account manager as a data detective,
They're analyzing sales figures, tracking progress towards targets.
spotting those areas for improvement. It's not just about gut feeling, it's about backing it up with those cold, hard facts.
So those spreadsheet skills come in handy. You know it. And then, of course, persuasion. This is influence, communication, truly understanding those client needs.
Reading between the lines.
Exactly. RoleCatcher told this great story about a sales account manager who closed this huge deal by zeroing in on the client's long-term goals. They weren't just focused on that immediate sale. That's persuasion in action.
That's understanding the bigger picture. And then lastly, there's coordination. Sales account managers, they're the hub, right?
The connectors.
They're connecting clients with those internal teams, managing expectations, making sure everything runs like a well-oiled machine.
It's about bringing all the pieces together.
Sounds like you need to be a master juggler, keeping all those balls in the air. What are some key coordination skills aspiring sales account managers should be working on?
Communication is key. Being able to prioritize and delegate effectively. Those are critical.
You're that point person, making sure nothing falls through the cracks. RoleCatcher also stressed the importance of continuous learning, though, didn't they?
Oh, absolutely. The sales world, it's like a moving target.
Always evolving.
New tech, changing customer preferences. The market's always shifting. Sales account managers got to be those lifelong learners if they want to stay ahead of the curve.
So you don't just learn it all in school and then coast.
Not a chance. You got to be reading those industry publications, going to those conferences, following the thought leaders online. It's all part of the gig.
Being that information sponge, always
Yeah.
soaking up those new insights and putting them into practice.
Exactly. And that's what keeps it interesting, right? Always something new to learn, a new challenge, a new opportunity to grow.
I can see how that appeals to someone who thrives on that constant evolution.
Definitely. RoleCatcher actually mentioned attending those industry events, the conferences, as a fantastic way to stay ahead of the game.
Yeah, those are like crash courses in what's trending.
What's on the horizon. Plus, you get to network, swap those war stories with other professionals, learn from the best. It's invaluable.
Knowledge and connections, you can't beat that. But let's shift gears a bit, talk about that interview process. That's where those RoleCatcher interview guides are pure gold.
Over 120,000 questions. They've got you covered.
They're not messing around. Those questions, though, they're designed to really get a sense of how you think, right?
Your problem-solving abilities, how you'd fit in.
It's not just about having those canned responses. They want to see you think on your feet.
Exactly. One question RoleCatcher shared that I thought was particularly interesting was, how do you prioritize your sales leads? What are your thoughts on that one?
That's all about showing them you're organized, strategic, you've got a system for managing those leads, you know how to identify the hot prospects, the ones with the biggest potential.
It's like working smarter, not harder, right?
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to get into the nitty-gritty. Mention the tools you use, whether it's a CRM, lead scoring, the more concrete, the better.
Show them you're walking the walk. Another one that stood out to me was, how do you handle a difficult client?
Classic. That's a curveball everyone's going to face at some point in their career.
Exactly. It's all about gauging those problem-solving skills, your diplomacy, how you handle pressure.
Can you stay cool under fire?
Exactly. So what's the secret sauce to acing that question? I mean, is there a magic formula?
I don't think there's a magic formula, but focusing on empathy always helps. Active listening, finding that win-win solution for both sides.
For sure. Share a specific example, something from your experience where you turned that challenging client interaction around.
Show them you can walk the walk.
Exactly. And remember, the interview, it's not a one-way street. It's a chance for you to get those questions answered too. What's the company culture like? Is this the right environment for you?
It's a two-way street, for sure.
All right, so to wrap things up, RoleCatcher, they've given us a fantastic roadmap for anyone looking to break into the world of sales account management.
They've broken down what it takes to succeed, highlighted those key skills and qualities.
And they've given us the tools to nail that interview. They've really held our hands through the entire process.
All while keeping it real about the challenges and the rewards.
And at the end of the day, it's a career path for those who are driven, those who thrive on building those relationships and hitting those targets.
If that sounds like you, I say go for it.
Absolutely. And remember, RoleCatcher, they've got your back every step of the way.
That wraps up our deep dive into the world of sales account managers. We hope you found it insightful, maybe even inspiring. Until next time.